What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and today I'm going to be predicting the outcome of Emanuel Navarrete versus Joet Gonzalez, and this is going to be a 12-rounder for the WBO Featherweight World Championship. And this fight is going to be Friday, October 15th from the Pechanga Arena in San Diego, California. And this fight is going to be broadcasted on ESPN+. And to get into both fighters' resumes, Emanuel Navarrete, fighting out of Mexico, holds a record of 34 wins, 1 defeat with 29 wins coming by way of knockout. He's currently ranked number 1 by BoxRec in the featherweight division. He's also the current WBO Featherweight World Champion, as well as the former WBO super-bantamweight World Champion. And now to list his one and only defeat. It came by unanimous decision early on in his career in a 4-rounder to Daniel Argueda, while some of his best victories come over Isaac Dogbe by knockout and a unanimous decision. He has got knockout victories over Francisco de Vaca, Juan Miguel Ilorde, Francisco Horta, Geo Santissima. He also has a unanimous decision victory over Ruben Villa, and he's coming off a 12th-round knockout victory over Christopher Diaz. And to get into his opponent's resume, Joet Gonzalez, fighting out of the United States, holds a record of 24 wins, 1 defeat with 14 wins coming by way of knockout. He's currently not ranked by BoxRec in the featherweight division, and his one and only defeat came by unanimous decision to Shakur Stevenson for the vacant WBO featherweight world title. But now to list some of his best victories, he has a split decision win over Rafael Rivera, a knockout win over Manuel Avila, a unanimous decision victory as well over Miguel Mariaga. And in this fight, I'm sort of leaning in favor of Emanuel Navarrete, and that is just my opinion. I think he's the better fighter, although he has moved up in weight pretty recently, although he's still a champion with some title defenses at 126. He still only has those wins over Villa, I believe so, and Christopher Diaz, but still, Navarrete is pretty big for 126. He's always been lengthy and long, powerful, and his fighting style is just super fun to watch. Very fan-friendly fighter, very active fighter, and he's one of my most recent favorite fighters. He fights nonstop. I mean, once we saw him fighting like 3 times in like 3 months. I mean, it was like ridiculous. And yeah, as I mentioned before, his fighting style is super fun. He just loves going for that knockout. We saw that especially even against Christopher Diaz, when in literally the last 20 seconds of the fight, he was gunning for that knockout, and he actually got it. That was a great performance by him. But Joet Gonzalez is definitely a better opponent than Christopher Diaz. And one funny thing to mention is that Joet Gonzalez and Christopher Diaz are 2 opponents that Shakur Stevenson did defeat, and Emanuel Navarrete is taking them on. And yeah, as I mentioned before, Diaz was Navarrete's last fight. Now Gonzalez is facing Navarrete, and many people are drawing comparisons to Navarrete and Shakur Stevenson. And I hope that someday they could fight, because that'd be very, very interesting to see how Navarrete does against someone with sort of that boxer counterpuncher style that Shakur Stevenson has. But here I feel that Emanuel Navarrete will come forward most of the time, if not at mid-range, because Joet Gonzalez does like to come forward a bit of his own. Most of the time he is really the one coming forward, but here Navarrete is the dominant champion, so I wouldn't be surprised if Gonzalez is fighting at the back foot throughout the fight and most of the fight. But here, Navarrete, he should come forward, as I said before, and he should win a lot of rounds. I think he's just going to simply outwork Joet Gonzalez. I mean, Navarrete has such a high work rate. He throws, I believe, well over the featherweight average and even super bantamweight average when he was down there. He's a great fighter, active fighter. He's a workhorse. I mean, he's a tremendous fighter. He works really, really hard. And, I mean, I believe he also had a great camp. I saw some of his training videos. I mean, he's overall just very prepared for this fight, and I think he should get the job done. Joet Gonzalez, I mean, I just can't see him outworking Emanuel Navarrete, who just loves to throw punches and who I believe just has just a lot of advantages. He's got the power, the speed, just the physicality. I just think he's just going to outwork him simply, and that's the only word I'm going to use. He's just going to outwork him. So it should be a decision anywhere from like 118, 110, 117, 111. I don't think that Emanuel Navarrete is going to knock out Joet Gonzalez. I think Joet Gonzalez has a good chin, but Navarrete could stop him, but I just don't see it happening in my final prediction. Joet Gonzalez, he went the distance with Shakur Stevenson, as I mentioned earlier. Shakur Stevenson isn't really known for his power, but Joet Gonzalez, I just can't see him getting stopped by Navarrete. I think he has a good chin, as I said before. But Navarrete carries a lot of power, only went the distance 5 times in his career. And yeah, I mean, he is definitely going to be the one forcing the action, I would say. As I mentioned earlier, he should be the one coming forward. Gonzalez, as I said before, he does like to come forward, and it's because usually he is the A side, and he likes to be the one coming forward. He likes to be the one dominating. He likes to be the one who's really the bringer of the fight. But here we're going to see that Navarrete is going to be that one. He is going to be the victor here. And once again, I see Emanuel Navarrete winning by unanimous decision, as I mentioned earlier. So how the judges scored, as I mentioned earlier, it should be pretty wide, like 118, 110, 117, 111. He's really just going to outwork him, as I mentioned earlier. That's what I'm going to use, that phrase. He's just going to outwork Joet Gonzalez, throw more punches than him, land more punches, land the cleaner, effective shots to the head, to the body. He'll mix it up, and he should get the job done. So overall, I believe that Emanuel Navarrete will defeat Joet Gonzalez by unanimous decision to get his 35th victory and to successfully defend his WBO Super Featherweight World title. And once again, the judges should score the bout 118, 110, and 117, 111 twice. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.